as they have already restarted. And let's have a look. Yep, it's a bit different without snow right now. And let's check the resources real quick if they are going to be fine. Right now, Exit is having a bit better placement than he had in the first installment. And the other players seem to be fine as far as Yannick goes.
Okay, yeah.
One boar, second boar. Oh, well, that could be potentially stolen. And there are right now shallows, so they should be a bit easier for them to wall. And that's going to be a bit different gameplay than the frozen version, which is a bit of a shame, as it could have been quite a fun game. But yeah, not for Exit. That wouldn't be fun at all.
No, this was as obvious as it gets, I would say. Definitely bugged.
Not really all that ideal for at the top for Influenzino, as he's having basically close between two forest lines, but it's not really that bad either, because he's still having a lot of extra open facets from both the right side and the left, and I'm thinking he's gonna cut through, or rather around it, but as he's right now scouting, and his ally is scouting as well, so that's not really anything that should be worthy of a restart in here. Otherwise, the map seems to be pretty much okay. A lot of resources I have noticed around Roboporo, or rather Influenzino at the bottom. And I was talking about Robos gold. I switched the players around, sorry. Robos main gold is slightly tricky.
I was looking at the influencer and thought, no, but it's clear now.
Yeah. That was a bit of a brain freeze in there.
Happens.
But really, I like all the resources and the mines, the gold and the stone on the front, or rather at the top of Influenzino's base. It's quite close to the main TC. Should be making for a pretty compact base and such, so easy to defend for him. But it's going to be pretty much easy for all of them, because you have just the discrete choke points in here, and unless you are planning some kind of sneaky landing, it's going to be easy to see where the opponents are coming through.
It's a fair map, I think, and both teams actually get a full trade line. Looking at the north, yeah, that is enough space to have a safe trade. So this game could take a while.
Yeah, definitely could. Even though looking at the trade route, possible trade route at the top from Roboboro, he has some nasty choke points in there. Right, what is it? Northeast of his TC, there's a pretty nasty choke point for trade cards. He will definitely have to get rid of all the bamboos, I think. It will help with the main gold as well. So that's something for him to do, but otherwise, another choke point seems to be right behind Influenzino's base, between the forest line and the ridge. That's also pretty bad.
Yep.
So not really all that ideal as it might have seemed. They will have to do a lot of wood cutting to make it a whole lot better for them. As there's a bit of scout fighting and a Willy from Influenzino being quite adventurous in there.
Yeah,
and
he wants a
Exit as
forward
well.
wall.
And the scout should be dying for Influenzino. Let's see.
Oh, but now he's 2v1.
Yeah.
Oh, and what? Do you see what Influencer's doing?
Oh man.
Shall we say it out loud on the stream? I don't feel comfortable saying it, but the viewers will know what he's doing. Wow.
Man.
Okay, Robo. Standard start with Vikings. Going forward with the villager, probably walling off.
Well, Robo is going to be quite far behind Yannick because Yannick is already having a dock in there. So, well, he's going to be quite faster with this economy. Villager just now coming in from Oboboro. And oh man, the village is still going. Still going.
Having a nice walk. The Eagle Warrior is there from Yannick. That could be a problem for Robo. An Eagle Warrior can kill a villager in Dark Age.
Yeah, unfortunately, he probably hasn't noticed. Right now, the villager right now will be noticed by Roboboro's scout, but it shouldn't be all that much of a problem. He does have loom. So...
Similar situation. Robo, he could have harassed the villager, but Robo needs to run now. Yep.
yeah.
He might lose the villager. He will lose the villager.
Yeah, he will lose the villager. And since the scout is actually cut off, I'm fairly certain he actually tasked it to go there, but he's going through the bottom because he's already walled at the top. So yeah, that's not really ideal at all. And we see the barracks at the very back right now being dropped. And is somebody going to scout from CZs at the very back in there? So far, Yannick, of course not, because he has scouted the boars, but he might see it if he goes for them. It's not really all that far away from it. Well, actually is.
The scout from Yannick is on the other side of the map. There's only the scout from Exit, and he's not anywhere close. They're just having some fun in the chat about the dead
Yeah.
villager from Robo.
A few sheep at the back, and that could be yet another basically side effect of the build that Influencia is doing, that he could be stealing the sheep at the back and basically slowing the economy of his opponents by that, but it's almost looking like that there are not all that many of them, just literally the two that he has stolen at the bottom.
Mm. You know what could give it away for CZ? It's actually the docks. If Yannick and Exit scout this properly, they will see that there's no docks from Jedi Z.
Yeah.
And without docks, it's kind of clear that they have something in mind.
It's also interesting that probably nobody knows about the middle choke point, as nobody is walling it.
Oh yeah, good point.
Yeah, literally nobody knows about it. So they're thinking there is just one. And that could be something that will be helping CZs, I think. Because if they find themselves in some kind of trouble through the early build of Influenzio, they might be getting their scouts or anything through the choke point and basically kill the enemy economies a much stronger way, because I don't think that the Jedi Masters are going to be attempting anything like that. And let's see about something like this.
Early, rather early feudal age for Exit, then
Influenzio
few
is going to be
seconds
the
later
last
Robo.
actually, so I'm not all that sure he's going to be all that effective at the back.
Both you and me, we were probably expecting either, I don't know, militia or a feudal aggression, but I think from his build order, he wants to go Castle Age and go for knights with Hans. He might get scouts.
That's interesting that he doesn't want actually the bonus from the fishies for that. If he wants fast castle, that will be helping him in even faster castle, because right now he should be slower than CZs.
Honestly, if they want to go for knights, Robo will sling. You see, he's building a market right now, and they would lose the docks and the fishing ships anyway. Something a lot of players do is actually build a dock just to lose it. They know they will lose the water just to, you know, play mind games and have the enemy think that they're interested in water.
Yeah, it's almost looking like that Exit is ready to overcome it. Waste a whole lot of resources or nothing in there, because he hasn't scouted with any of the fishing boats. Right now he has one galley up and he's building extras. Oh, well, he
Will
is
Robo lose
second.
another villa? Yeah, Robo losing another villager.
That's unfortunate for him. And at the bottom it seems like that Exit, oh well, he's building so many galleys. That's so many resources wasted, even the 3 docks. Oh man, that's not good for him.
Oh no, and now he's building a dock, and he will lose the fill. Yep, villager gone.
Yep, that didn't really work out. And it's looking like that at least Yannick isn't going to overcome it on the water so far, not really going for anything, coinage finish with Robo. So he's of course gonna finish with extra buildings, stable being dropped at the very back, and well, yeah.
And you know what makes this really exciting? That both Influencer and Robo haven't noticed the middle passage there.
Yeah. I have absolutely no idea this is up. I'm really thinking this could be a lifesavers or CZs, because they're going to be definitely surprised by the sling. I'm thinking they're not expecting anything like that at all, even though they might be thinking there's something fishy when they don't see the docks. But this is probably not on their mind. I'm thinking Castle Age is not that far away, considering that Influenzino is gonna be slunk.
Yeah, 1625, that is an average, a pretty good Castle Age time.
And seeing how actually the Viking is not going to be all that needed on the water, he might not be all that bad, with at least supplying the pikemen in there against the knights. That would be at least something that he will be good at. And he wouldn't really need to sling all that much into Yannick, as, well, slinging at this time into Mayan in some kind of late notice or anything like that probably wouldn't be such a great idea.
Yeah. Do you see how Exit is controlling the entire shoreline with his galleys? He wants to prevent a dock. He wants to keep water control because he knows in Imperial, which this game looks like it will be going to Imperial, the water helps. Imagine you get cannon galleons or 30 war galleys.
Yeah, and right now he's
Galleons,
building the
whatever.
last galley, it seems like, and switching into fishing boats. And much more importantly, he has of course discovered the middle choke point. So he knows there's a way free into the opponent's base, so he knows that he can basically raid without any kind of problems.
Yep.
And of course the Jedi are not walling at all, and the resources are wide open. The gold, for example, for Influenza, there's no protection for him. Same goes for Robo, even though, well, it might help him a bit in the defense, the position in there, but still, it's going to be about the green player who is already pumping out knights and gonna go for Yannick at the top.
That is a golden decision there, because if the Mayans get their castle up, it's gonna be really hard. 2 town centers coming up. Let's see if the knights can prevent one. Don't think they can prevent both of them.
Yeah,
No,
there are just two,
this
even
would be
though
really
some will,
lucky.
yeah, some will be coming in.
He can still wall, yes, and he is
Yeah,
walling.
he knows. So right now he knows what's coming up as a problem, and coinage for exit, so he's gonna be slinging as well.
Influencer's building a workshop quite far from Yannick.
Yeah, that's very far away.
Maybe he was scared of wolves or whatever.
Or maybe thinking that he actually wants to go a bit into exit as well, because he's probably gonna recognize that he's slinging and not going to be having any kind of army.
Influencer got into the wood line from Yannick.
Yeah, Yannick wasn't fast enough to actually wall in there. So that's of course a problem. As on the villages, Roboboro is right now first, exit just by 1 second. But of course, Yannick is gonna be having a lot of idols, whereas influencing or not. But at the same time, we need to remember that actually there are fishing boats for CZs that could be making up for any kind of raiding deficit that right now Yannick is having. So it's not as deadly as it could be.
The fish is pretty bad on Highland. You really want water control for the late game. Another thing, castle coming up for Yannick, and the base is pretty tightly knit there, I would say. It's not easy for Flu to do big damage without 5 rams or so. The rams are going towards exit now.
Yeah, that's something that I was maybe thinking could happen once he realized that the sling is coming in, because of course that means that exit is not ready for anything, even though he's already stonewalled himself, at least a bit. But it's not like that's going to do anything against the siege gems, of course, and the knights coming into the base. So that's what I was thinking about a bit earlier, that he should be at least building barracks and be ready with pikes. Because that's the minimum that he can do, and would be doing basically wonders, as Influenzio is not going to be switching into any kind of other army, at least so far. So, well, let's see about that. So far, it also seems that basically, as you said, Yannick is pretty much safe. With the nicely positioned TCs, he has basically free 3 line, so he doesn't need to worry about anything. He has gold, stone, he has absolutely everything in there. And he has extra few food from the fish.
What is exit doing?
That exit is right now. Oh. And so many knights already from Influenzio.
Well, that's pretty bad news for exit. With knights right now.
He's trying to get rid of the siege rams. Oh, he's gonna get absolutely slaughtered in here.
Exit might lose all the villagers.
Because he has nowhere to run. And the army from Yannick is going to be just now arriving, and that's way too slow.
And it's just plumed archers.
Yeah.
No, these knights are
that's goodbye about 10 villagers. That's horrible. They're all dead pretty much. Maybe the only way to save them would be transport ship and hide them on the sea.
I was gonna say transport ship and bring in his galleys, but he's not moving the galleys. So
he's not doing anything.
Will,
oh well, he's basically given up on them, probably recognizing they are not doing anything. And he should be running with the wood line as well, especially since there is a hole he has cut through, unfortunately. So it's looking like a pretty big tank by exit, and oh my. But that doesn't mean that the game is over, most definitely not, because Yannick is well set up, and he could potentially help somehow protect exit and help him get ready. But it's not going to be easy, because of course Yannick is going to pump plumed archers.
Look at the kill-death ratio for Influenza, 27, and the number will increase.
Yeah. That's pretty bad for them. And there should already be going a bit of raiding. Right now, unfortunately, Roboboro has scouted that there's a bit of a hole in the middle as a way through, and that means the window of opportunity for CZ to somehow raid about it is going to be closing.
one villager from exit manages to get to this choke point. Where is he going now? Yeah, if he's smart, he's going to the other side. And he is. But
Exit
there's
is
an
down to
outpost from
15
Robot.
vills with 11
Yeah.
fishing boats.
And Robo has the outpost there. I think this was the best outpost he could build.
Going for lumber camp in there. Fortunately going to be all scouted nicely. Right now Exit trying to think better of it, because he of course knows what's going to happen. And a lot of siege of course coming up, going to be tanking everything from the plumed archers. So I'm really not sure what Yannick's plan is, because he's absolutely going to lose horribly against siege and knights. So somebody should be doing eagles or anything.
Yeah.
He's at least going Imperial Age.
Yeah, I agree. I think Influencer should add another town center on gold, because he wants Imperial, he wants Paladins. Oh, let's see. Will he actually go for a fast push, or will he wait a little?
Well, Exit got a bit lucky, because he has been able to rebuild a TC at the bottom next to the stone. As he doesn't seem like that Influenzinho is knowing about it. No, he doesn't. He has absolutely no idea there is something interesting at the bottom, so he's switching right now into Yannick. So there's some potential time for...
Yeah, but right now you would say Exit is out of the game. If you lose your starting town center, you lose 2/3 of your villagers, then you're out. He will need 10-15 minutes to recover now.
Especially if Influenzinho going to Imperial Age as well. So that's going to be Paladins against anything that actually Yannick could be having. And yeah, right now the numbers are not really in his favor, and he's basically going to be on his own, with Influenzinho having basically the triple amount of sling than he's going to be receiving. So that's very hard to come back from, to be honest.
And Influenza is 60% Imperial Age, so as soon as he gets the +4 defense and Cavalier, Yannick can't stop him, I think.
He can't even get rid of the siege right now, so it almost might be GG right about there, because he really cannot get rid of it.
Castle coming up, market coming up to balance the economy, I guess. Wow. What a crazy set of games here.
Really. Nice idea at the very end for Influenzinho to go for this kind of strategy, and kind of interesting that Caesars did not recognize it, because they have seen the villager go somewhere to the back. So they probably could have guessed that something is up. Really sure what they were thinking all that much. But this is really definitely quite nicely executed by the Jedi Masters, with all the Imperial Ages coming in.
And brilliant team play. Not quite over yet. Influenza does not have a castle to get trebuchets.
But he's already going for Cavaliers, of course. So right now he should be taking things a bit more carefully, as he doesn't want to lose the units needlessly. And I'm still waiting for some switch in army or some kind of help from Exit, because there is basically no game plan. You can see that basically Exit is having all the galleys at one spot, as Influenzinho was trying a bit of fun on the water as well with the fire ships. So he's trying to kill the water as well.
And Exit just managed to get fletching. Yeah, but the water is not important anymore, I think.
Yeah, it isn't, and on the land so far he isn't doing anything, so he's probably just still full-on slinging into Yannick, even though, let's switch into his point of view, if we're going to see how many he is slinging. And the mini base, oh well, that's a big army of Cavaliers ready. Waiting for Plate Bar in armor, Kept Ram coming in as well, with Castle Age from Robo, so Robo is going to be stopping slinging, and coming full-on into the game, with yet another castle being dropped by Yannick, but that might not just be finished, because the Cavaliers could be in time.
I think Influenza lost his sneak villager, didn't he?
Probably, because I don't see him anywhere.
This is slowing him down. He could use another siege workshop, he could use 2 more stables easily. Oh, if these plumed archers get trapped, no, Yannick won't allow that.
Well, Paladin's already in, so I think it's about time actually for Yannick to switch into barracks, because if he doesn't, once the paladins hit, I think that's basically GG gameplay right there. Because it's not like you
Influenza
can kill them.
needs to send villagers. Why doesn't he just take, I don't know, 5 villagers and send them across the passage?
Because he probably cannot, even because of the galleys there.
Yeah,
So
but it's just 3 galleys. They don't have ballistics. He could
oh,
easily
and at
send
the
them.
top, have a look. At the very top, Roboboro is already having the dock. So unfortunately, for CZs, they are probably going to be losing the water there as well. And there's a pretty good spot for some kind of sneak landing or anything going to be happening for Roboboro and maybe even for Influenzia if he switches to that side. So far, I think CZs are thinking that the main fighting is gonna be happening between Yannick and Influenzia, but it quite soon could turn into something a bit different. And Barracks finally down with Archie range as well.
I know people might roll their eyes here, but I really think that losing this sneak villager is slowing down Influenza a lot. And this actually brings CZ back in the game. You see, killing 1 villager can save you the game. Who knows?
Oh, well, careful, Yannick. Getting outmaneuvered pretty strong. Oh, well, this is horrible. With the paladins right there. But luckily he's at least close to the castle, but still, that was costly. That was a mistake by him.
3, 4 capped rams now. Influenza, he does have 1,000 food. He can get siege ram now.
That was at least a pretty nice choke point created by the barracks and the castle, so that's nicely played.
Very good fight from Influenza right now. He should maybe go back because the plumes are trapped.
Yeah, he should definitely go back because right now he's
in.
Getting extra damage from the castles from the plumed archers that he really cannot get at. So he could be
sneak from Yannick, 5 plumed archers raiding Robo now.
Ah, yeah, that's very nice.
Not a big deal.
Well, that's definitely going to help because he's going to force Robo into doing something different than he hoped for. And going to stop his economy at least a bit.
Yeah.
And there are siege coming through the bottom as Influenzio is trying to go through the walls in there. Probably hoping to push some villages in, exactly as you are saying.
Yeah.
And with Exit being very slow to come back into the game, still just 34 villages. Even with 1 TC, I would be expecting that he could be a lot better.
Yeah, I'm not sure what his plan was. He started slinging Yannick, which it was basically peanuts. He was sending, you know, a couple, you know, a dozen wood, a dozen food. Doesn't help too much. He should have boomed back.
Right now, Halbergia is coming for Yannick, but also interesting stuff that Yannick is down to 99 villages, whereas Influenzino is already above him. So, yeah, the economy is not even stronger, and we have already talked about Robo's economy being quite stronger, even though not by much. It's basically, he's still, as he was slinging, having 57 villages, which is not all that great. So, considering Exit is having 36 villas and 11 fishing boats, it's not all that much of a great advantage, but still, it seems to be making a lot of difference. But let's see, right now Yannick is basically pushing forward as he is having halberdiers, and this basically could be a make it or break it moment, because if he can get rid of the forward base, he's going to be quite nicely set up to finally protect Exit and potentially go for full-on raid on Robo. And you can see he's still with the plumed archers in the base in there, even though Lenzio is having at least 1 paladin to help. But Robo is losing villages in there to this very nice raiding, and should definitely be putting up a bit more into that kind of raiding. Talking about Yannick in here, that could be working for him quite nicely as he's building Siege Workshop on the left. So right now we seem to be having a bit of a pause, as a lot of barracks are coming up with another castle for Yannick.
Yep. If you take a look at Influenza's base, he's building a lot of archery ranges and getting elite skirmisher. So Paladin skirmisher sounds like a good combo here against...
Oh, Exit should be running away. Especially since he knows what's coming his way and he has absolutely no defense. He should be getting away from that bottom and somewhere else, trying to sneak back somewhere around the map to Yannick's base, because this is going to be resulting in his final death if he doesn't retreat. He doesn't have any villages anywhere else. Extra plumed archers coming from Yannick to raid a bit on Robo. Yeah. That's definitely something that he should be doing in earnest.
Ooh, a lot of plumed archers on their way now. Is it walled? No, they're in. The plumed archers can run in, so Influenza will have to defend his own base.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of them. Oh wow.
Yes.
And they are coming for Influencia, oh my.
And no onagers for Hans, of course. Ooh, Influencer will have to turn around here and defend his base.
Yeah, this is pretty nice thinking right about now, because obviously he needs just the halberdiers, Yannick, right next to his castles in there against the paladins. So there's nothing else coming up from Influenzino, because as you said a bit earlier, he doesn't have the villager to build anything in there. And Yannick is housed right about now with the population. And well, looking at the others, Influenzino is quite close, even though not fully. Robo is having just for 54, so not any kind of army or anything. So he was probably going just for banking to have a bit more efficient slaying. But the Plume Touches are right now in Green's base, and oh well. Let the Hunger Games begin, I guess.
I think Jedi should start trading now. Robo is in Castle Age, has enough town centers. He should build markets now.
So Influenzino has lost already about 5 villages to this raiding, but unfortunately there are at least a few paladins, so Yannick's raiding is not all that effective. So he should be sending a whole lot more in there. But
on the other side,
yeah,
take a look at Yannick's base.
That's a pretty nice army right about now coming through.
Yeah.
But still the castles are pretty much an impregnable defense so far. They seem to be working in Yannick's favor quite nicely. But we should be also looking at gold, because I think that Yannick is going to be running out of gold pretty soon. He's having just 3 remaining gold mines at the top and 3 right next to the TC, and he's having a lot of idle plumed archers waiting for transport ship. Oh, right next to home base in there. Oh man, he's very interested in taking the fight somewhere else than his base.
The thing is, resources last longer with Mayans, and plumed archers are actually dirt cheap, way too cheap. So gold could be a problem for Jedi if they don't start trading sooner.
A lot of paladins coming right now in just for another fun in Yannick's base, but at the same time important to notice that Influenzino is down to now 94 villagers, and even though Yannick has lost a lot of villages as well, he is down to 88 from like 93 or what he was having. The losses are bigger right now for Flu.
And I think Influenza is having a bad fight right now. Plumed archers shooting,
the castle in there
pumping out of, I don't know, 8 barracks or so.
Well, those plumed archers on the left are probably gonna die, even though not all that many paladins are fighting against them. But still, that was pretty efficient fight in the end for Yannick in there, and he has lost the army more or less as the halberdiers are coming out of the barracks in here. Whereas there are another batch of halberdiers. I was looking for them at the bottom next to the gold of Exit in his home base, former. I was looking for them because I didn't see any kind of big battle where he would lose them. And they were exactly catching up with all those guys. But
you know what? I think Influenza is fine again. He can just, create a few villagers. Robo is not looking terrible, and I think Influenza will throw everything at Yannick now.
Yeah, and Influenza is actually setting up base in the middle. So that's definitely a good move by him, so that he's closer to everything. And with Exit coming into Castle Age, having 42 villies, a whole lot less than Roboboro, I'm not exactly sure he's going to be all that effective, but still. And again, a small raid by Yannick into Robo's base, doing his job, keeping half of the villages idle. Definitely going to be counting towards all the efforts in there, and otherwise, Yannick also setting up near Robo, with the siege workshop and the barracks, getting rid of the gold release in there. That's going to be pretty useful gold mine for him. He's going to need that gold very soon.
Again, I'm recurring on this sneak villager that died. If Influencer had managed to bring villagers 10 minutes earlier to CZ's land, I think the game would be over by now. But now it is not decided.
Exactly. That seems to be exactly the key moment of this game. And we are seeing also a switch into elite skirmishers. Well, of course. But he isn't really upgraded, having just one on the armor. It's not really ideal, and the paladins are having just +2 attack, so he's missing some kind of upgrades in there, isn't he?
The paladins from Influenza? Or which
Yeah,
ones?
they're having just 40 +2.
Yes, he's missing Blast Furnace, I think it's called.
Otherwise, Yannick seems to be fully upgraded. He's having +4 everywhere, and he seems to be just wrecking right now, influencing you.
We actually have Mio in the chat. Mio is a known expert player. And he says if the game goes long enough, Hans overcomes Mayans.
Well, with trade, but there is no trade. That's the problem in here.
Yeah.
The trade is attempted to be set up right now by Robo at the top, but I'm not really thinking it's going to be really all that great, because even though Yannick has been right now slowed, as Influenzio was paying attention right next to Robo's base, as he has gotten rid of the villages and the small army in there, it's still in place. And Yannick definitely is thinking about it a bit more. You can see the huge amount of idle villagers, or rather plumed archers in the middle, right next to the choke point, just waiting to be commanded somewhere. And halberdiers at the bottom, so I'm thinking that actually Yannick is in a pretty sweet spot right about now, and he could be even thinking about establishing trade himself.
Yeah, I agree. Yannick is playing awesome. We said earlier he's a solid 2k1 player, and I think he proves this. He's playing for 2 right now.
Most definitely, he's playing for 2 basically the whole game. You can see that at the top, especially, or rather at least Exit is trying to work something with the docks, trying to prevent any kind of landing from Roboboro, so that's a good job in there. And otherwise, he is in the castle age, as he's protected right about now. He's slowly getting ready. I'm not exactly sure for what, but he is still very slow. Should be getting better with the 2 town centers, but Roboboro is having double the amount of villagers, of course. But what the raiding from Yannick is doing, it's actually making sure that Influenzio cannot use all the army into the offensive. He's having a whole lot of it in defense. And that's exactly allowing him to somehow control the map on his side and help him overall defend against what is happening in there. Light Cavalier even from Influenzio, from the forward base. That's just a waste of resources against the castles.
The push from Yannick though.
Yeah, that's bad.
Getting...
And a lot of docks right now coming from Roboboro. Unfortunately for him, Yannick is well aware, but they are definitely making an attempt on the water as a Viking. So they need to be careful, because of course it's going to be quite deadly. Exit isn't on par with Roboboro right about now.
And Robo is pumping out units out of these docks, so he will get water control very, very quickly.
Yeah, Yannick right now at least trying to build a castle right next to the docks, because he's recognizing problem is coming. And it's going to be a pretty big problem, because without the control of the water, he won't be able to pull any kind of villages on the other side, and that might allow the Jedi Masters to get their feet under themselves and get raiding again and such.
Well, we said this game could last for a while, and it looks like it. Robo will probably get water control, and then they will have to, yeah, as you said, get a foot on CZ's side again. And then what?
Interesting fight at the bottom between trash units, halberdiers versus skirmishers. Halberdiers of course winning, because there are like 4 times as many.
Yeah.
Doing a pretty good job cleaning up in there. And that's exactly important, because I think they should be setting the trade already.
Yes. Robo has 2 markets, he's building a 3rd. Influenza, let's take a look, has 3 markets too. Okay, so they're setting it up. Also, Influenza keeps this passage open, and Yannick, he is there with his halves, he's near, but I think Influenza will manage to keep this open.
Yeah, and even though Yannick thought that the forward base would be a pretty good idea for him, unfortunately it seems to be, or unfortunately for them, or luckily for the Jedi Masters, it seems to be not really working, even though he's having a lot of halberdiers hidden in there. But with all those skirmishes extra, it's probably not going to work all that much. The castle is up, which is very important right about now for Yannick, because he's going to prevent any kind of strong offensive by the boats in there. But still, even though the situation is kinda calmed for CZs, what's happening is that actually the raiding is basically stopped, and he's not able to deal, Yannick is not able to deal any kind of damage to the opponent's economy. Finally, at least Exit is getting back, as he's at 83 villages already. So that was a pretty nice job in here, and he might be a force to be reckoned with, but oh well, raiding coming into the trade route and into the economy, so not good news coming in.
And there's a small, I would say even a tiny army from Influenza moving in. 4 or 5 paladins, 1 siege ram, and that could clear half of his economy.
Yeah, Yannick fortunately does have a lot of halberdiers nearby, but he actually needs to know about it. He needs to be told to protect his teammate, but really this is pretty bad for him right about now, because he needs to somehow plug the hole in the wall sooner rather than later, because otherwise it could be a pretty big problem for him. So we are heading into yet another pause, probably. And it seems like that Influenzina is full on switching into skirmisher, so he's probably out of gold, I would be thinking. Not really.
Let's take a look.
It's not a bad choice, of course, against plumed archers, but overall, even against halberdiers, they kind of suck, as the halberdiers have shown.
No, I think, you know, Huns are not that great in late Imperial. Paladin and skirmishers is a pretty good idea. If he mixes in a few siege rams, you know, to soak up damage from plumes, then there's nothing to complain. That's the best he can do.
Yeah, in the middle, there's interesting. In the middle of CZ's half, there's actually one extra gold, basically full, that could be taken. I'm not exactly sure why, for example, Yannick isn't taking it. Right now, he might be moving with villages somewhere, but that's probably gonna be some castle. Or I don't know, some kind of defense for his ally. I would be thinking, because the halberdiers are probably not going to be really all that enough just by themselves. But all they really need to do is to protect the choke point either by boats or by really some kind of wall. That's all they need to do in the middle. As at the top, the forward base is basically gonna get killed. There's not much else going to happen in there. As guard towers are also coming up from Yannick. Interesting. And oh my, Yannick, what are you doing? You are actually letting all the army into the base. He hasn't bothered actually finishing with the walls, and oh, that's bad.
It's just skirmishers, not that big of a problem.
But still, he's letting his opponent in without any kind of defense or anything, so yeah, not good.
And
not
yeah,
good
skirmishers are actually a pretty good raiding unit. Also, trade 14 plus 6, that's 20 cards and only 4 trade cards for CZ.
Yeah, and CZs are losing them because Influenzina is camping at the bottom next to the market, so there's absolutely no trade actually happening for CZs right now. So
Yeah.
they seem to be kind of mismanaging the situation, to be honest, because they looked quite well off in, I don't know, some 15 minutes ago.
A lot of villagers being trapped there for exit. He cannot run anywhere from the southwest.
Most definitely. It's going to be a pretty tough time for him because he's basically left alone to fend for himself. Even though he is rebuilding TC at the right side, next to gold, next to the part of the map, there are already a few paladins in. And of course, Influenza, or rather Robo, is also coming into Imperial Age. So yeah, it's almost looking like that he's ready to get back to fighting on the land as well. Especially with his villages, 122. Wow.
Yeah. I think as soon as Robo hits Imperial, CZ might consider calling a GG.
Yeah, they resign, because right now Exit is gonna get killed. He's gonna lose absolutely everything.
Yeah.
To the Paladins at the bottom, that's pretty much a GG, I have to say. Because Yannick cannot really fight against this. He had the opportunity in there, but unfortunately Exit, I don't know, he was just so super slow to get back into the game. Even with 1 TC, I don't really think that it's okay to be building about, I don't know, 5 villages for 5-10 minutes. It's not really good enough.
As I said, I think it was really not the best decision to sling Yannick. He should have boomed back, you know, built an economy. Influenza did not touch him for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. That was the decision that could cost them the game.
I'm also kind of thinking that maybe CZ's underestimated what's going to happen, because once Exit saw that he's gonna get raided by knights, he just should have actually retreated, because that was exactly at the time when he was starting to sling, basically confirming that he doesn't have anything. And I don't know what he hoped to achieve, because it should have been clear that there is going to be some kind of sneaky attack, and he just basically underestimated it, to be honest.
I mean, the evil plan from TheJedi worked, right? The Exit overcommitted to his crush. He had the entire coastline covered with galleys. He spent so many resources and he was nowhere near going Castle Age, while Flu had 10 knights and rams, so there was nothing he could do. And then again, the decision to sling, even though he was out of the game, really hard to come back now.
Yeah, at least right now Yannick is trying a bit of raiding into the trade route, quite effective one at the top, because inevitably since Influenza was engaged at the bottom, it meant that he would be like an army at the top, so Yannick is trying to make use of that.
Influenza has skirmishers right next to the plumes. Just move. Move the rams, move the skirmishers. Okay, now he saw them.
So that's a pretty good raiding for him, but of course it's gonna get short pretty soon. Going to last for much longer as still Influenzino is trying to get rid of the trade route, and the paladins are running all across the map, and unfortunately the halberdiers are just trailing them, so they are not doing anything, and finally Yannick is recognizing it, and the castles should be getting rid of that quite nicely, so that's good defense against this kind of raiding, but still getting killed, and cannon galleons for Roboboro. That's a huge problem for Yannick. He's gonna lose castles in there and town centers and such. That's really bad news for him. As castle is being dropped at the bottom also by Influenzio at the choke point to basically make sure that he isn't stopped from coming into exit space.
They have a foot in the door. And that's what I meant initially. The meta for Highland tells you you have to have control over this river in Imperial. And yeah, with cannon galleons, they can clear the shoreline and then win the game, I think.
Well, so it seems like that castle has come up in Roboboro's base to basically protect the trade route, and even though you see a lot of dead bodies and a lot of dead trade cards, is probably not going to matter all that much, because Influenzia is still having pretty much a pop army, and even though Yannick is having the same, I'm not exactly sure where it is. It seems to be spent all over the place. Oh yeah, there is a bit of a, in the middle, bit of a choke point of halberdiers being produced and doing nothing. That's kind of unfortunate. But of course, if the trade route is gonna get going, of course the paladins are going to win against the plumed archers.
And there's a cannon galleon out now for Robo.
Yeah, and even a trebuchet on top of that. So that's going to be goodbye a lot of castles and a lot of also houses, it seems like, in there.
And it is a full 2 versus 1 now. And a galleon has 165 HP, 8+1 pierce armor. How are Mayans supposed to deal with that?
Yeah, exactly. Siege rams, fortified wall for Yannick, elite cannon galleon for Roboboro. So of course the shoreline is going to be quite nicely in power of the Jedi Masters, so let's see if maybe Yannick can somehow pull something out of this. Probably not, because he doesn't have a way through, and right now he's gonna be having a bit of fun with the castle at the bottom, which is going to cost him quite a lot of units and such. As exit is still getting raided by Influenzino, by paladins and such on the right side, even though he's here again trying to rebuild. But he is at half the economy, and it's just not good enough right now.
Yeah, Yannick managed to get control over, let's say, exits area, but Influenza is pushing through the middle.
Pushing through the middle. At the same time, Roboboro is having a pretty large army of galleons and cannon galleons at the top, like a lot of them. So it's going to be very easy for him to get through, and there's not much that Yannick can do against that at all. Especially since his Viking is not really in any kind of situation to help. Even though he does have resources. If you check into the exit, he's having 700 wood and 1000 food and gold. 700 stone. So what's exactly the deal in here? He's trying to rebuild somewhere close by to Yannick, still. So I'm kind of thinking this is going to be all about... Actually, if CZ, once CZ lose the trade, it's going to be GG right there, so it's going to be basically the next step in the Jedi Masters game, I'm thinking. But right now, the fight on the left will be going reasonably well, especially with the castle right now, that has been built by Yannick in pretty good spot. That is helping. But with the bottom of the water...
Yannick is buying resources, that is strange.
Well, he does have a ton of gold, literally a ton of gold.
It shouldn't be the case, especially with Mayans.
Well, Influenzino is also having a ton of resources. He's not having any kind of problems with anything. So it seems like that everybody's pretty nicely set up.
I think if Robo gets out, let's say 20 skirmishers and 5 to 10 rams, and he joins Influenza, then that's it.
Well, the castle has been dropped because of the cannon galleons, of course, and even though
Yeah.
Exit is trying to advance into Imperial Age, well, what do you think is actually going to be his plan? Is he trying to come back into the water? Because
Sorry,
I don't
who,
see anything else
Exit, or-
happening from him.
Yeah, there's 2 docks. Robo just discovered them. Honestly, I have no idea what Exit's plan has been for the past 20 minutes. I don't know.
But switch into Eagle Warriors is coming in from Yannick, as he's recognizing that he needs something a bit better against all those skirmishers and even the paladins, let's be honest about that. But the water is going to be a pretty big problem for them, because it of course means that the Jedi Masters are having pretty much a safe trade, and a very big one. So there's not actually any gold going to be running out for them.
Let me just tell you 2 or 3 numbers right now. Trade profit for Influenza, 3,400. Yannick, 1,700. And Robo, 4,300. So this is a lead by more than 6,000 or whatever gold. And it's gonna increase more and more with every minute.
Most definitely. So how's it looking? I need to find some robust guards that are going opposite direction. Yeah, they're having pretty nice trading right about now, and well, yet another raiding of the paladins into Red's base, so he's gonna lose yet again some villagers. And even though he has been able to come back to about 82, I think actually that Influenzino has killed at least a few villagers of his own, so that he has bigger population limit. It's looking like that I'm pretty sure he was above 100. So unless he has lost some villagers in the front attack, he has already deleted a few of them, and Elite Galleons already still coming in from Robo. He seems to be mopping up with the dogs of the red player, and Influenzio is definitely setting up right on top of Exit. And Exit is right now recognizing that he needs to go somewhere else, as this is not a good spot at all to be.
Too. Maybe Robo overcommitted a little bit on the water.
Yeah, he should be right now. I think that he should be switching into land as well, because on the water, there's like nothing going to happen from CZ. I don't really see it.
You know, with their trade, and now with Eagle Warriors running around, he could go Berserkers, he could go Champions and Onagers, he could do whatever he wanted, really. Everything would help right now. Maybe not light cavalry, maybe not arbalists, but everything else sounds like a good idea.
Influenzino setting up yet another battle, or rather forward base, and it seems like that Robo is actually going to be joining him in there with some siege rams. So yeah, that's definitely a good idea as a Viking, and they are eating right now into Yannick, so it's almost looking like that we are going to be entering the later part of the game, especially since Robo is investing into onagers and kept rams. So he's gonna be quite ready to get rid of everything, and since CZs are gonna lose the bottom of the map, that means they are going to lose the trade route, and that's a GG right there. No matter what Yannick does.
Well, we've called it 20-30 minutes ago, haven't we? But it you know what, I was looking at this hill where the castle and the gold is in between Yannick and Exit. If this hill gets in control of Jedi, then that's it, I think.
Yeah, Yannick not even fighting on the hill, just having bloom touches below it. That's kind of a bit of a shame for him for the extra attack, but he's probably seeing right now that it's basically done deal. You can see even switch from Influenzino into cavalry archers to get rid of the potential halberdiers and such. So yeah, this is just a too strong army right about now for Yannick to deal with, and he will probably be aiming for the last moments of the game. And yep, Doc attempted from Exit at the very top, but Robobora is not to be surprised, as he's having some kind of elite cannon galleons in there. In wait.
And another thing, Huns are more population effective, right? Paladins have way more HP than Plumes or Eagle Warriors.
Yeah, right now at the bottom, bit of a fight as Yannick is trying to protect the trade route with the halberdiers, but of course, the combination of strong paladins together with the pretty good cavalry archer seems to be pretty much it. And even though Yannick is building some extra barracks in there, and even archer ranges in there, so probably going to be switching into skirmishes himself. Yeah, GGs are right now being called. And, well, CZs, they definitely did have a chance at one moment in there, but I have to say, I didn't really like the play by Exit in there in the middle. He probably didn't really think that CZs could be making something happen out of it, and that's why he was a bit too slow in recovering. That maybe could have cost CZ the game. Bit of a shame for them, but very nicely played by the Jedi Masters and very nice sneaky strategy that definitely worked out for them.
Yeah, and I don't think CZ called it too early. Robo got siege rams, got onagers. 1 minute later, the middle would have been cleared, and that's it. So a very nice decider and a very nice entire set of games here. You remember the game on JD Cross? Amazing, really.
Yeah, so very nicely played by both of these guns, and congratulations Jedi Master Z on advancing into Grand Finals of RTS League's Age of Empires 2 to the Conquerors Clan League Season 39. That clan will be playing against Vix for the bronze, and the Jedi Master Z will meet VNs, Vikingos Nomadas, in the Grand Finals. So pretty interesting and surprising names in the finals, to be honest. Would have expected a whole lot different clans, but well, these two proved to be the best over the course of the season, and they definitely deserve it.
Honestly, 3 hours ago, I still had a look at the scheduling topic and I saw, okay, everyone is busy. We can only send 2 players, and Robo is per rating not the strongest one. And I thought, okay, this is gonna be 3-0, but here I stand corrected, right? Wow. And congratulations to them and well played, CZ.
Well played indeed, so GG. Alright then, so this has been these have been the semifinals. I'm just going to correct the score for the last time. For the Jedi Master Z winning 3-2. And I definitely hope that everybody enjoyed the games. They were quite interesting. The last one was pretty long and quite unclear how it's gonna end up for most of it. And well, definitely subscribe here or rather follow us here on the channel for the Grand Finals and the Bronze Banner match, and then for the next seasons of both Age of Empires and Age of Mythology Clan Leagues. You can also follow us on our community channels like Facebook, Twitter, and whatever else. You can find the links below the stream on the buttons. And well, I've been Blackadder, and I've been here joined with Janet. So thank you for watching, I guess, and thank you also, Janet, for joining me for the games.
It was a pleasure. And one last comment from me, maybe, guys, if you are in a clan or you are a group of friends, check out rts-league.org. It's been around for 16 years now. It's mad fun, as you've just seen. So yeah, check that out.
Well, see you later then.